What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have major news about Avengers Secret Wars and some pretty big news about Deadpool 3 that we'll talk about later as well. But many of you might have heard that Marvel Studios was kind of switching things up internally when it comes to the directors and the writers of some shows. They are also kind of changing their strategy right now for how they are releasing Disney Plus content. They are scaling back, releasing fewer Disney Plus shows. This has been confirmed by both Marvel and Disney, and their goal basically moving forward is to try and make each Disney Plus show feel like a big event, which is awesome. But what they've done recently was also get rid of some of the writers and directors that they've had for some upcoming shows and movies. A director for Avengers Secret Wars has never been announced. We haven't had an official director assigned to that movie yet. However, we did have a writer, Michael Waldron. He wrote Loki Season 1, and he helped write Multiverse of Madness as well, and was set to write Avengers Secret Wars. The same thing goes with Jeff Loveness. He originally wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and was going to be writing the script for Avengers Kang Dynasty. However, we have heard that both of them are no longer attached to these projects and will not be writing Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Well, today we have an update about who might be writing these films and who might be directing Avengers Secret Wars. Now, we have a director for Avengers Kang Dynasty. As far as we know right now, Destin Daniel Cretton is still the director for Kang Dynasty, and he directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is one of the best films, not only in Phase 4, but in the entire multiverse saga. So that's still good news, and let's break down what we've heard recently about the writers and the directors for these upcoming Avengers films and dive into Deadpool 3 as well. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news. We're also giving away an Xbox, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick a winner at the end of each month. All you got to do is subscribe and leave a comment on our videos to enter. So let's start off by talking about possibly the biggest news that we've heard in a while when it comes to the multiverse saga, and that is the fact that we are hearing from insider source My Time to Shine Hello that Sam Raimi could be directing Avengers Secret Wars. In fact, her direct tweet today stated that sources confirmed that Sam Raimi is Marvel's top choice to direct Secret Wars. Now, Sam Raimi is a legend. Many people know who he is. If you don't, he directed the very first 3 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. He's also famous for a ton of other movies that he's done, especially in the horror genre, and he was hesitant to come back to Marvel Studios after all of the hate that he got for Spider-Man 3. But he came back and he directed Multiverse of Madness, and he said that he was absolutely ecstatic to come back, and he was so excited to see Tobey Maguire go back in Spider-Man No Way Home as well. And side note, I would love for him to direct Secret Wars because we've heard Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is going to appear in Secret Wars, and I would love to see the two of them get back together again, this time working together in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because of course that did not exist way back when those first Spider-Man films came out, although Sam Raimi did include a Doctor Strange reference in Spider-Man 2. Now, before people go on and start talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, a lot more people like that film than a lot of people would have you believe. In fact, for the People's Choice Awards, it actually won the best movie of 2022. So clearly a lot of people truly did like this movie. I'm not saying it's not without its flaws. However, you have to consider what the situation was before Sam Raimi came in. Scott Derrickson, who wrote and directed the very first Doctor Strange movie, was set to write and direct the second one, and he already had a script done. He really wanted to make the first horror movie for Marvel Studios, but apparently he wanted it to be over the top and a little bit too much, and Kevin Feige said, we can't do this. And Scott Derrickson basically said, well, if I can't make this movie that I want to make, I don't really want to make it. They part ways, and that's when Sam Raimi came in with writer Michael Waldron. So they came into something that was already made, a script for it was already done, and they kind of had to work with what they had and then rewrite a script in a very short amount of time. Plus, of course, Kevin Feige has things that you need to include in a movie as well. And I believe that they did the best with the situation that they were put in. And I believe that it would be a lot different with Secret Wars because I believe that Sam Raimi really does have the chops to direct an amazing Secret Wars film, especially since he worked with Marvel Studios way back then with the very first Spider-Man films, and now he's come back and worked with Marvel Studios in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Plus, not to mention, he's just a very talented and very well-respected director. I think he would do an incredible job, but go ahead and let us know your thoughts about this down below. Would you like to see Sam Raimi direct Avengers Secret Wars? Now, we do have news about the writers as well. One thing about having Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness write Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, something that was really cool is that, one, they are both extremely good friends, so you know they would work closely together to make sure whatever happened in Kang Dynasty would line up well with what happens in Secret Wars. But two, they both were writers for Rick and Morty. And the reason that this was so cool is because one, people love that show, but two, a lot of multiverse stuff happens in that show. They really do explore the multiverse a lot in Rick and Morty, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, these two writers had a lot of experience writing about a multiverse. And I'm sure that's why Marvel Studios hired them in the first place to write these two films, because these two films, one, the Kang Dynasty is going to really kick off a shattered multiverse, and two, Secret Wars is going to be all about the multiverse, perhaps the multiverse already being destroyed and them having to restore it, and incursions happening in all of the universes combining possibly into just one universe and one timeline. So there is value there for having writers who have really experienced writing about a multiverse before. And according to My Time to Shine Hello, Kevin Feige might be looking at other Rick and Morty writers to direct other MCU films for the multiverse saga. Responding to a tweet about Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness being taken off Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, My Time to Shine Hello stated this: "True, but pre-strikes, he was in talks with other Rick and Morty writers for other MCU projects. It's far from over." So Kevin Feige was in talk with other Rick and Morty writers to direct some other projects for the MCU. Again, in theory, it makes sense because they have experience writing about the multiverse, and he could be getting these writers to come on for Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Kang Dynasty, plus other films as well, as My Time to Shine Hello states. Now, it is nice to get new writers to come in and get a fresh perspective. However, I would personally love to see what Sam Raimi himself could come up with. If they want him to direct Secret Wars, that's fantastic, but I would personally love to see what kind of script he would write. But we'll have to wait and see on that. In the meantime, let us know what you think about Rick and Morty writers writing the next Avengers films. Do you think it would be good, or do you think they should get some other writers and get a fresh perspective? Let us know down below. Now, one last report of the day is about Deadpool 3. According to Daniel RPK, Deadpool 3 might feature Battleworld. Now, this kind of does make sense based off of what we've heard about Deadpool 3. And of course, based off of the fact that we are currently in the multiverse saga and it's kind of becoming a mess right now. The Kangs are on the loose. We've seen that they have formed the multiverse their own way, but we also know that people like Loki and Deadpool and other characters are going to be causing incursions. We're looking at you, Doctor Strange. So Secret Wars in the comics, and Battleworld particularly, was made by Doctor Doom. The multiverse collapses and Doctor Doom creates a new reality out of the remnants of destroyed universes. So basically a bunch of incursions happen, the multiverse gets destroyed, and whatever is left of that destroyed multiverse, Doctor Doom, when he gets the power of the Beyonder, uses all of those remnants, puts them together, forms a world, forms a reality, and calls that Battleworld. And Doom would rule Battleworld. He would rule it with Doctor Strange by his side. He also had the Thor Corps working for him, and the world was split off into different remains, and some of these remains had remnants of old universes still intact. He assigned a leader or a baron or a baroness to each territory, and you could not cross out of your territory. You could not leave the region, and if you did so, the Thor Corps would show up and, let's just say, would discipline you. Well, this could happen in Deadpool 3 in a really creative way. What we've heard so far is that there's going to be a universe that is ruled by the X-Men and particularly Magneto. So what we are theorizing could happen in Deadpool 3 is that in this universe where the X-Men and Magneto rule, instead of Doctor Doom having created Battleworld, it could actually be Magneto. I think that this would be a really cool idea because one, it would be a little bit of a twist of Battleworld, plus that means Avengers Secret Wars would be a little bit different than what we've known the comics to be as well. That way we don't know what's going to happen. But two, we don't have a little cameo for Doctor Doom, unless it is the old Doctor Doom, Julian McMahon, which it very well could be because we have heard rumors that the original Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, etc., could be returning for this movie as well. That would be cool. I would love for that to happen. I just don't want them to introduce the new MCU Doctor Doom in this film. I want him to have a proper introduction, not a quick cameo in another film. But if it's Julian returning, that would be absolutely epic. But we know that Magneto's going to be in charge of one particular universe, so it sounds like that universe could be the remnants of other universes and could be ruled by Magneto. So this could be a version of Secret Wars in Deadpool 3. I think it would be really cool, but go ahead and Let us know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. Also, let us know what you think about the possible writers for Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars, and the possibility of Sam Raimi returning to direct Avengers Secret Wars. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on the MCU. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well if you'd like to. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.